Hey, Sarah, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Now I understand why I was feeling tingly. I'm quite anxious to find out what's popping today. And here you are.
Yes, well, Gabrielle Union is what's popping today. And she opened up about her first marriage to NFL player Chris Howard, who she was married to from 2001 to 2006. Yes, she later married Dwayne Wade in 2014. But anyway, she went on to go on and say that she was, you know what? Just first listen to this audio and then let's talk about it because it's a lot.
50-year-old joined the Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard podcast Monday and opened up about how infidelity affected their relationship after Dax expressed complicated feelings of his own regarding his past.
That part of it
you
was
and I
like
are identical. I was
keeping up with his activities, and I was like, "Oh, that's what you're doing? Oh, you're gonna feel this one." And
okay.
I just felt entitled to it as well. I was paying all the bills. I was working my ass off, and I felt like that's what comes, the spoils of riches.
Yeah.
And like my dad before me, whoever has the most gets to do whatever the hell they want, is what I thought.
Yes.
And it was just dysfunctional from day one.
Yeah.
Gabrielle and Chris were married in 2001 and separated in 2005.
So there she went on and said it. She admitted that she was unfaithful in her marriage, but she also claims that her then husband also claimed that he wasn't. And she felt that she was justified for, cheating on him because she paid all the bills and she was doing all the heavy lifting in her marriage.
I have one simple question.
What is that?
If the tables were flipped and a man came out and said, hey, I cheated on my wife. Why? Because I paid all the bills. I think most women would feel outraged. They
Absolutely.
Would say that doesn't justify it. Right?
Exactly. And I also feel outraged by her excuse and her reason and her quote-unquote justification for why she cheated on her husband. But then again, she went on to say that, she probably didn't know better. And because she was raised in a house where her father justified his cheating because he was, paying all the bills and making all the money. So she went on and took that into her marriage. And I think it's just very important for everybody to, properly seek counseling before you get into a marriage, because you don't want to get into one and then have to repeat toxic patterns. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It is not right that she did that. It is really not right that she did that, and I completely do not condone that. Because if it was flipped around, as a woman, I would absolutely, I am a woman, I would be very, very, very upset about that. If a man said, you know what, I am going to go get me another woman because I pay all the bills, I pay for your hair, I fuel your car, I do all the financial heavy lifting, so I am justified to it, as in I need a reward, a snack. I would be absolutely mad. Furious, actually. It's not right.
Strangely, her second marriage seems to be doing better, and that's really relative. But from just looking at it from the outside, it seems like her current husband and her seem to have found a rhythm that works for them.
Yeah.
They seem to be very much in tune with each other's quirks, and he seems quite happy to be in the submissive role in the marriage, which everyone seems to think he's in the submissive role.
Yeah.
She makes him wear like weird clothes, which clearly you can see he was forced to do it, but he just complies. And then there's the issue of, I think, one of their children
being transgender,
which seems to be like her
Zaya,
coming from her mostly. So she found a dude that she can ride with, and I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. They're twisted in their own special, unique way, but they seem to be happy.
You know what? And recently, they were getting a lot of shade from the internet, because you also know that Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt had a child that was transgender, allegedly. One who was with gender,
dysphoria.
born a girl, but then decided to experiment from the age of 3 with clothing and, just vibes. And they went by the name John for a very long time. Remember that?
Did you say they went by the name?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, no, not
they.
you too.
No, I'm saying the child, because the child is gender fluid, and the child went by John for a very long time. Well, recently, actually, at the end of last year, about October, their child decided to go back to being female. And,
oh, really?
Take back, go back and now start identifying as Shalom, as, female. And guess what? This whole time, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt did not allow their child to, get on hormones or any gender reassignment, surgery. However, in the Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union issue, he and his wife are in court fighting, and the wife is saying no, their child Zaya,
The first wife.
yes, the first wife Zaya is saying, the first wife Zaya's mother is saying that the child should not be allowed to change their their areas, their organs, and change their name
And
until they have turned 18, because the mom feels like Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union are trying to push that agenda so that they can profit off it. So they're in and out of court, battling it and whatever. So people are like, you see, you can just have your child experiment. You want to be a girl, wear your, grow your hair, wear dresses.
Yeah, and I think
figure it out.
And I feel like that's a very good example because children go through that phase. There'll be times when a boy will want to wear a dress and play with dolls. He'll have that phase. Or when a girl may want to climb a tree and play soccer. Like they'll all have a phase in which they're sort of just exploring the boundaries of who they are and trying to find out who they are. And sometimes they might actually stray far beyond what might be expected of the sex that they were born with. But that doesn't then mean you say, aha, oh, look, actually, she's a boy. So now let's take her to surgery and make her a boy. Because with enough time, they might outgrow that inclination.
Exactly.
And now in the case of Brad Pitt's daughter and Angelina Jolie, she's reverted back to wanting to be a girl.
And all she has to do is just change her clothes.
And how many children... how many... And grow her hair, perhaps.
And grow her hair back,
how many
perhaps,
children do you think were in that stage, and before they were allowed to grow back into who they are, their parents took them to the surgeon and chopped off the breasts and chopped off the penis and everything else.
Yeah, that is so true. And actually, there's so many stories and documentaries and testimonies and interviews on the internet where people regret transitioning, and even young children, now that they have come out of their puberty and adolescence, age, and now they're like, you know what, I actually was not a boy, I was not a girl, it was just a confused. And this is the thing, all of us are very confused when we are teenagers. Even I was. You understand? We all were. But then
you cut off your hair. Are you in a boy phase?
No, I'm not. And you see, this is the thing. You can be a girl who just likes your hair short because sometimes it's just convenience. Or sometimes you have your reasons for actually cutting your hair. I'm not transitioning. I'm not a boy. I'm not a man. I am.
You're not gender fluid?
I'm not gender fluid.
You're not non-binary?
I am she, her. Those are my pronouns. She, her. You can. So I think we should just let our children, actually, it shouldn't even be at the age of 18. When they turn 21 is when they should, first take them through counseling and therapy so that they really get to understand. And also the thing that I realized about the people who regret their, transitioning is that they all say that they were not told the dangers of actually undertaking.
So you're very much opposed to gender reassignment surgery
I really
for
am.
minors.
Absolutely, 1,000%. Minors don't know. A lot of adults are walking around and still don't know better. You get me?
So to subject minors to something that radically changes them permanently.
Exactly.
It's cruel.
It's a crime. It's a crime. And on top of that, when you sign all these, documents before you go into surgery, you can't sue. You get? You can't sue.
It's just so terrible. And I worry that, and I keep talking about these slippery slopes. We went from, hey, let them just be who they are, to now where it's celebrated and encouraged. So anytime a little boy or a little girl starts to just feel a small tinge of a different way of wanting to be, all of a sudden everyone rushes to declare them the opposite gender, takes them for surgery and changes their identity. It just seems cruel and unfair.
And we should tell our kids that not all of them fit in this stereotype of what their gender is supposed to be or what their sex is supposed to be.
Yes, tomboys still exist. There is such a thing as a tomboy.
There really is. And flamboyant
girls who
boys.
are girls but who are a bit more, express more masculine traits, and boys who are boys who express...
Who are flamboyant and just like to be a little sassy and dress better and bathe. It doesn't mean that you are a woman now. Yes.
So if a little boy likes bathing, he's non-binary.
Oh, he's non-binary. Oh, he must be a girl. That is unusual. Boys usually don't like to bathe. You guys, no, let's not do that. Allow your children to be themselves. They don't have to change their body parts, because once you do that, you can't go back and have properly functioning genitals. At least that's one thing that I have found, and that is scary, to not have functioning genitals.
I know, right? Well, anyway, as far as Gabrielle Union goes, now that she's in the news for these statements, and now everyone's calling her out, and at the same time, they're also adding to the dragging by including this controversy surrounding
Their child.
Yeah. I don't know what that's going to do for her reputation, but anyway.
Do you know what? I just thought of? Would she be as supportive of their child changing her stepchild changing their identity if it was happening to her child?
Her biological
child. Do you get me?
That's a very good question. I don't know. It's hard to say for sure.
Is she trying to be likable? Is she trying to not cause drama? Is she trying to, I don't know, just be supportive? But I think there are better ways to be supportive. Like, actually have this child is not even 18. They're like, what, 15?
So what's going on with that court case? Are they still battling it?
Yes, they're still going back and forth. The mom is heavy on that.
I do hope
let us wait until the child is 18, and I think that is just reasonable. Wait
and
until
hopefully
18.
By then the child would have outgrown whatever little inclination they have, and they go back to being the normal person that they were.
Yeah.
Right from the start.
And lastly, Nicki Minaj. I have news on Nicki Minaj, and she becomes the female rapper with the most consecutive years charting a single. Most consecutive years charting a single on the Hot 100 from 2010 to 2023, and she's breaking a tie with Missy Elliott, who had the most consecutive
most consecutive number ones.
Yes, on the Hot 100. That with Missy Elliott was back in 1996 to 2008.
Wow, so I guess the debate is settled. Who's the best female MC? Is it her? Because right now, you've got Megan Thee Stallion, you've got Doja Cat, you've got, what are their names? There's the other one, the annoying one, Cardi B, all vying for, the title of the top female rapper. And because they are a bit more current and more new, somehow they've stolen the limelight away from Nicki. But I think when you look at the facts and the figures, Nicki Minaj is the undisputed
Absolutely,
champion.
I agree
Undisputed
1000%. It is Nicki Minaj, and people need to start respecting this woman, because she can step in the arena with any male rapper and bring just as much heat and energy. Have you listened to this queen's lyrics? Have you? Have you? She's not just here saying a big bum wap, put it wap 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 what a wap. No, she brings it, and it makes sense.
Her bars in Monster, like she was on that track with Jay-Z, Eminem, Kanye.
Imagine.
I think Lil Wayne, and everyone's like her verse was the best.
Thank you.
So she's the queen.
She's the queen.